Hey, this is Dr. Troy here in Vancouver, Washington. I want to talk about ADD and ADHD. So, a lot of children now are diagnosed with this condition. They're hyperactive and they have attention deficit issues. So, there's a natural way to approach this thing because the traditional approach has been to prescribe medications such as Adderall or Ritalin, which, kind of knocks the kids out. Now they're on drugs, but what's causing it? See, I always look at what's causing it. You can treat it, that's fine, but really, what's the cause? And so, what we're seeing and what I've seen, and there's a lot of varying information out there, but it could be related to trauma, concussion type stuff. Could be related to the birth process. So, you can't just go, it's just this one thing. So, it could be trauma. And when we look at trauma, parents always ask me, once they understand chiropractic and the role of the nerve system, is there a link between ADD, ADHD, and interference to the nerve system? And my answer is always, let's take a look. We've seen cases where kids who have ADD, ADHD do better when they get adjusted. And how is that possible? Well, again, we're balancing the nerve system. We're balancing the sympathetic, which are the hyper part of the nerves, and the parasympathetic, which is the calming part of the nerves. And many of these kids are so out of balance because their structure is wound up tight that they can't function properly. So that's one way we look at them. We examine them, we x-ray them to see. And a lot of the research I've seen is associated with upper cervical interference, putting pressure on the brainstem, affecting brain activity and function. One of the other big things is toxicity. We're so toxic now. One of my patients the other day said, my kid won't eat. He won't eat any food. So, and a lot of the times you'll see parents, their kids only eat, chicken McNuggets and French fries, and there's no nutrients in there. So a lot of this, we found that the research has showed that if you take kids off wheat, off dairy, off gluten, they do better. So what's that tell you? That tells you their body's toxic and you're putting more toxins in, so they're reacting negatively. One great tool we found is Wuji Chlorella. It's a whole food. It's been shown to help some kids with ADD, ADHD because they're malnourished. And so, that if you nourish somebody better, they tend to do better. So these are just some natural approaches to, the alternative, which is medicine out there. So if we can find a way to get kids healthier and more functional, that's great. Another good thing is exercise, sports. Our kids now, they don't eat good, they sit, they're more toxic now than they've ever been. There's TV, and then their posture, their structure isn't good. So all these things can play a factor in helping a child with ADD or ADHD do better and improve their standing in life. People always ask, how long will it take to see results? Because, medication might be immediate. So, it could be pretty drastic. It could be within one visit. It could be within a week. And it may take longer. Depends, and if there's a toxicity factor, that can take time to get out of the body. So nutrition is huge, structure is huge, and getting them exercising, getting them moving, getting them involved is huge. So, but that's going to take time, just with anything. So if you have someone, someone, it's Dr. Troy, the Vancouver Chiropractor.